Hello everybody, it's your boy Proftrof and we're back again with some more 40k by our favorite Australian content creator. Today we'll be checking out two videos. This one, which is the Minotaurs explained, and his newer video about some custody guy that's supposed to be a Primarch of the a Primarch of the Custodies. I'm sorry, I almost died there, but it's okay. Let's get into it. The Minotaurs. Okay, I know a little bit about the Minotaurs. Spartans in space kill everybody. I think they're good.
Guys and gal, Warhammer takes inspiration from a lot of real life things in history, whether it be Ultramarines being inspired by ancient Rome or the Emperor's children.
Wait, the Ultramarines are Rome? Huh. I did not know they were inspired by that.
Being inspired by registered sex offenders. Warhammer
Fair
does
enough.
it all. If a Warhammer character, faction or race is inspired by someone or something badass, they will generally also be a beast. The Majorkill Crusade saw the Warhammer equivalent of Alexander the Great conquer so much territory for the Imperium, it would have made the Emperor's bony face blush. Hence, when you have a Space Marine chapter inspired by Sparta, you know they're going to cause some serious trauma for the enemies of the Imperium, and the allies of the Imperium.
Wait, so they're a loyalist chapter?
Hence, when you have a Space Marine chapter inspired by Sparta, you know they're going to cause some serious trauma for the enemies of the Imperium, and the allies of the Imperium, and the Imperium itself. Yeah, these guys are worse than the Marines Malevolent. Not because they're bigger douches, no. No one is a bigger douche than a Marine Malevolent. It's because of how wildly effective they are. If a Malevolent Marine wants to ruin your day, there's a good chance you'll be sweet because they'll probably struggle to get to you. If a Minotaur wants to ruin your day, you may as well just break your own legs and hope they take pity on you. Spoilers, they probably won't. Today we'll go over who the Minotaurs are and what their deal is. We'll also have a look at their very mysterious origins, as well as what's going on with their own version of Leonidas, Asteria and Moloch. Let's get into it. Long before the 41st millennium, a humble scientist that went by the name of the God Emperor of Mankind decided that he was bored and that the Milky Way needed to get milked. Hence, using dank-ass science, he created 20 demigod super soldiers called Primarchs, and used their DNA with even more dank science to create 20 legions of super soldiers called Astartes. The Minotaurs were not one of these 20 original legions. See, every Space Marine in the galaxy can trace their lineage to one of these 20, as since an unfortunate event called the Horus Heresy occurred, the legions were broken up into chapters and different foundings. Some chapters are like, oh yep, no worries, I'm nice, I look like chocolate and I have a big schlong, I'm definitely a salamander successor.
Thank you, immortal.
And some are like, oh
yes, I'm aware there aren't really any confirmed salamander successors. Get off my back, I'm making a point. I don't think anyone was on your back, Major. Maybe the emus are back.
Oh ni xin chao ding da, I am definitely a right scar successor. Whereas other chapters, such as the Blood Ravens and Minotaurs, are super unique, and all their records of their original lineage have been lost or sealed. This can be for a variety of reasons. For the Blood Ravens, it's because they're likely a Thousand Sun successor, which is extremely heretical. Whereas for the Minotaurs, it's likely because the Imperium messed with the Emperor's Space Marine template to create them. And saying that though, the Minotaurs also have a decent chance of being from a traitor gene seed as well. As a rule of thumb, it's super heretical to mess with any of the Emperor's original designs, unless your name of course is Belsarius Cole, then it's fine. Either way, it would only be in recent times.
How many heresies has this dude made? He's making automatrons or sex dolls, live sex doll Terminator bots, right? He's memory wiping himself every couple of weeks and storing that shit somewhere in the back. How many crimes has he committed? Oh, heresies, I guess.
The Minotaurs, as we know them today, would emerge. To be clear, they did also exist in the 38th millennium, but the canon of that is questionable, as back then they were insane berserkers with one of the fuggliest and most difficult to paint styles I've ever seen. The modern day Minotaurs are a lot more cold and calculating. They also don't make me consider suicide whenever I look at their paint scheme. While some Space Marine chapters are specialised as siege warfare or range warfare or close quarter warfare, the official specialisation of the Minotaurs is killing other Space Marines, something they're pretty stoked about. Whenever there's a Renegade Space Marine chapter, the Minotaur...
Wasn't that the the Custodes thing, weren't they specifically made to kill other Space Marines? Custody successor chapter? Wait, is that even possible? Technically, it would be Emperor success chapter, right? Because the Custodes are from the... Ooh.
Minotaurs will beeline their full force, massacre 80% of the chapter, steal
On the
their
80?
gear, and make them beg for forgiveness. They're literally fueled by Space Marine tears. During the 8th Black Crusade that Abaddon
What am I looking at, Major? What is this? That's a lot of skulls, brother.
launched, having failed 7 of them already, it was the Minotaurs who backed up the Custodes to wipe out a force of Night Lords and Iron Warriors who threatened Terror itself.
Oh.
After this, they were hand-chosen to become the attack dogs of the High Lords of Terror themselves, only obeying orders given to them by the High Lords and return being given the best weapons and gear available. When the previously mentioned Majorkill, the Alexander the Great of 40k, died, the regions of space he had taken over fell into civil war.
Oh yeah.
It was the Minotaurs who spearheaded the attack onto the heretics and slaughtered the traitors. During this Macarian heresy, there was a lot of confusion about who was on what side. Loyalists fought loyalists just as much as renegades did. The Doom Warriors and Inceptors, 2 loyalist chapters, were caught in a fight with each other. The Minotaurs came in and beat the shit out of both of them, forcing the Doom Warriors to retreat and the Interceptors to suffer a humiliating defeat.
Damn.
Now the Interceptors are an Ultramarine successor, so kicking their ass is like punching the rich kid from your school in the face. His daddy is going to get very angry and will try and sue you, which is all well and good until you activate your trap card and inform them that your dad is a corrupt politician so they can't do shit to you. Needless to say, the Minotaurs are not welcome in Ultramar. Another incident was when, due to Titsnitch pulling a fast one, numerous loyalist chapters were turned against the Imperium, including our good, but unlucky boys, the Lamenters.
Oh yeah, I remember
Well, being
this.
unlucky already sucks, but being unlucky and also being the target of the Minotaurs sucks even harder. Whilst the Imperium and the Successionists fought, the Minotaurs beeline for the Lamenters and kicked the shit out of them, decimating their chapter and stealing most of their war gear and a number of ships. If you haven't been able to notice by this point, I'll make it very clear. The Minotaurs are really, really good at killing Space Marines.
Okay.
So what about their Spartan king, Asterion Moloch,
No.
arguably one of the most powerful...
Is he not gonna mention what's special about their gene seed? Come on, Major, please. Please, buddy. You gotta do this to me.
Powerful Space Marines to ever live. A Marine who is extremely old, always fights on the front line, has been reported dead multiple times yet always returns in complete fighting form. Well, Games Workshop have kept him pretty mysterious. He never removes his helmet, which has given rise to a number of theories about him and how he's so powerful for a Space Marine. There's literally a quote from a named custodian who's a beast in combat being like, "Bruh, I'm not even sure I could beat this guy." For context, Custodes are known to cut through Space Marines like butter. Well, first off, it's thought that Moloch isn't a normal Space Marine. It's thought that he received even more gene seed and experimentation than normal, prolonging his life dramatically and making him an absolute beast. That's theory 1. Theory 2 is that Asterion has undergone extensive cybernetic rebuilding, making him a Space Marine Terminator. This would also explain how he survives near-death experiences and also why he doesn't take his armor off.
Maybe he's one of the missing Primarchs. Think about it. Not so too long though.
Theory 3 is that he's actually a custodian or the result of a Custodes Space Marine hybrid. This is backed up by the fact that his spear appears to be a remixed version of a Guardian spear, spears only custodians can use. And finally, the theory that I find most interesting is that it's been confirmed that the Minotaurs employ a mind-washing technique, which basically lets them upload data and personalities to their Space Marines' brains, giving them extremely fast recruitment rates. What I think could happen is that when Asterion dies, they upload a backup of his memories and abilities to the brain of a powerful Minotaur. They then equip them with Moloch's war gear and bam, there you have it.
Another Moloch.
This would also explain why he's so powerful. He's had years of combat data spread throughout multiple Molochs uploaded into him. Also explains why he's such a massive dick. That kind of mind rape ain't gonna come for free. Now none of these are confirmed to be true, but regardless of why, all that matters is that Asterion will kick your ass down a well if you get in his way. In more recent times, the Minotaurs have gotten themselves into a bit of controversy, killing some Sisters of Silence and even a Custodian. See, when Gulliman took over...
what? You don't kill the waifus.
Down a well if you get in his way. In more recent times, the Minotaurs have gotten themselves into a bit of controversy, killing some Sisters of Silence and even a Custodian. See, when Gulliman took over as Lord Regent of the Imperium, he flushed the swamp. swapping out most of the High Lords of Terra. They weren't super keen on this, hence hatched a plan to overthrow him. Now, a human attempting to overthrow a Primarch is like a white person trying to dunk in basketball. It's just not going to go well. There was a big fiasco which eventually led the Minotaurs and Custodes fighting. The Custodes obviously killed numerous Minotaurs but were able to suffer one death. Before the final fight can begin, a legendary shield captain of the Custodes prepares to fight Moloch, and after assessing him, cannot find a single weakness that he can exploit, and feels the closest thing a Custodian can to feel concern. Before they can fight, however, the situation is resolved, the traitor lords are killed, and everyone goes on their merry way, pretending like nothing ever happened.
Really?
The Minotaurs, due to the High Lords sucking them off, got early access to the Primaris DLC, hence had Primaris Minotaurs running around before the other chapters. These guys are very much
but they're cunts though. Didn't they fight for the
pay to win?
What?
After the hectic Custodian killing heresy that everyone pretends didn't happen, the Minotaurs joined the Indomitus Crusade in full strength. They were recorded as encountering some Thousand Sons who they swiftly bent over and destroyed from behind, with the power of their throbbing bull cocks.
What about the Silent Sister?
We haven't heard much about the Minotaurs since that scene, however with the coming of the Indomitus Crusade novels, as well as the Minotaurs' recent popularity in lore, it's not hard to imagine we'll see more of the Spartans soon. Because of their attitude and overtly dickheadness, the Minotaurs don't play nice with others. They are known for high rates of friendly fire, not attending war councils, and randomly rampaging through war zones. The Minotaurs have killed Imperial Fists, Blood Angels, Grey Knights...
Wait, that sounds like they're sanguineous as little boys, because they are a little autistic, right? Sometimes they go just like, rawr, rawr, I kill for the blood, I need the blood.
Assistants of Silence, Custodians, and many more loyalist factions in the Imperium, purely either due to misunderstandings or simply because the offending party was in their way. Games Workshop have been really clever in the way that they expanded the different Space Marine chapters.
Are those teeth marks? Did someone bite his arm? What are those? Y'all see that shit? Someone
allowing them to have nearly endless fun and creativity. I love covering the more unique and especially badass Space Marine chapters, and the Minotaurs were no exception. And that does us for today, guys. The Minotaurs Space Marine chapter in Warhammer 40k. I really enjoy the lore of a loyalist chapters who are assholes, especially when they are Spartans. If you have another Space Marine chapter you guys want me to talk about, then let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do about it. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 gives you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai, and $10 gives you access to the premium Majorkill hentai calendar, along with other benefits. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more aggressive kickdown well content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
But I didn't get anything about their gene seed. I guess they're just fucking assholes and badass assholes at that. Okay, next video. Okay, this is the next video we're checking out today. Constantin Valdor. People said that this is very cool and I should check it out, so I'm here and I'm checking it out.
G'day, guys and gals.
Sorry.
Everyone likes custodians. No exceptions.
Besides Minotaurs, I guess.
I said no exceptions. Their armor is cool, their attitude is badass, and their skills are legendary. Not a single custodian has ever fallen to chaos, and in recent lore they're finally getting the love and the respect they deserve.
Wait, he didn't answer. Did any of the Minotaurs ever fall to chaos? Quick question for all my 40k nerds.
That guy Haley, no more Custodes getting one-shot by Harlequins these days. There is one Custodes that stands above the rest, a warrior so skilled and powerful that he was considered a Primarch in all but name. Plus his name is criminally badass, Constantin Valdor. Like, bro, what kind of name is that? That's awesome. With a huge recent reveal of Valdor in the lore, as well as him getting some time in the sun during the Horus Heresy, I thought now was as good a time as any to chat about the Banana King. So yeah, like, obvious spoiler warning, but every lore video is full of spoilers, so get over it. Let's get into it. The Emperor had a hard-on for Valdor when Valdor was just a young boy. Sorry, the Emperor was
Oi. Blasphemy.
hell-bent on finding and turning Valdor into a Custodes from day one. As the wars of unification rang out across Terra, the Emperor upheaved continents and moved entire armies across the world just to find Cozzy. Yes, I'm gonna call him Cozzy because that's what he'd be called if he was in Australia. This lends a whole bunch of weight to the argument that Cozzy wasn't amazing because the Emperor wanked extra hard onto him, but because he himself was a legend regardless of if he was a Custodes or not. The effort required to snag up this boy was not wasted. Kozi would turn out to be a master assassin, a master warrior, a master diplomat, a master commander, and a master baiter.
Oi, how many masters can he be in a masturbator? I heard that just as I paused. God
A
damn it,
master
Major.
commander, and a master baiter. He was literally the best at everything, but he did it all in a very straightforward way. For example, when he was sent to kill a bitch who stole some water, he was able to sneak past her army despite being in full golden plate. He then had a polite discussion with the bitch, telling her his name and informing her that he would pass on any last words she had to the emperor.
Okay.
When she threatened to scream and sound the alarm, he calmly told her that would just result in the death of her army as well as her. A great example of him being a master diplomat was when another bitch was going to betray the emperor and use some Thunder Warriors to arrest Kozi. Now Kozi knew she was a traitor, and he knew that he would have no issue massacring the Thunder Warriors and her in a single stroke if he had to, but instead he took the time and effort to chat to her and basically convince her not to be a traitor. When she accepted this, he let her live and no one died.
Wait,
To show off how monstrous he was in
he let her live? What?
combat, the Emperor made him a special spear, which was actually designed to nerf him. He was literally unbeatable and could cut through armies like a whippersnipper cutting through grass. It got to a point that the Emperor was worried that Valdor was losing what little humanity he had left, hence the spear he gave to Valdor showed Valdor the soul of each person he killed as he killed them. He wanted to maintain Valdor's empathy and to stop him from becoming an automaton. You would think that learning the life story of everyone you killed would get a bit too heavy, but Valdor pretty much never let go of the spear and he accepted the burden that the Emperor had put upon him.
Cool.
Valdor does a bunch of other crazy OP shit that we will get to. I want to keep this video somewhat chronological, even though it's less a direct lore retelling and more so a deep dive into Valdor's character whilst using the lore as examples. Does that make sense? It doesn't to me. Let's continue. Now, it's not entirely clear how the Emperor wanted to shape Kozi. He made Kozi a slave to his will and a tool for his use, which eroded most of Valdor's humanity, but he didn't want just an effective robot either. Whilst Valdor was totally cool with just being the Emperor's bitch, even admitting he knew he had no true free will and that the Emperor had taken everything for him, the Emperor seemingly became less cool with it. It's almost like the Emperor realized that the path he had set down for humanity was full of sacrifice and all-round shittiness, so he did what he could to try and save a few souls along the way. The Unification Wars began to wrap up, because, you know, mutants cosplaying as characters from Mad Max don't tend to fare too well against people like Kozi, and Kozi is then told to cull the Thunder Warriors. The reason for the culling was that the Thunder Warriors were
He's the one that called them? Because they were unstable and shit, right?
crudely made and had anger management problems as well as raging cancer. If you're gonna save mankind and be seen as the heroes, it's best not to have all your warriors look like a bunch of Batman villains. Hence the Thunder Warriors were rounded up and mowed down by Valdor and the other Custodes without too much effort. One legion of Thunder Warriors were able to escape the slaughter, and they led a counterattack against the Imperial Palace as a bit of a fuck you. Totally fair enough in my opinion. As the Thunder Warriors charged, the first Space Marines to be made fought them and were dominating them. When the leader of the Thunder Warriors fought Valdor, he was quickly curb stomped and got murdered pretty hard. Adios Thunder Warriors. Now whilst this had been going on, the Emperor had begun to work on the Primarchs and Valdor wasn't a fan. The Primarchs were the first things the Emperor had created that were entirely unpredictable. Now being unpredictable is different from lacking free will. The Thunder Warriors had plenty of free will, but were predictably put down without much effort after fulfilling the roles they were predicted to do. The Primarchs, however, were a massive wildcard, and whilst Valdor was like bruh, he didn't push the issue much and he trusted the Emperor's judgment. Whoops. The Primarchs are scared.
What do you guys think though? Primarchs, more good than bad or more bad than good? What did they do now that we've seen what they've done a little bit? I mean, they're still playing a pretty important role, even though half of them are missing, going around fucking prostitutes in the Chaos Dimensions. What do you guys think? Have they done more good than bad or the other way around? I'm curious to see your opinions.
And the Great Crusade begins. Now during the start of the Crusade, the Emperor was very active in purging and Valdor fought by his side. They delivered unbelievable amounts of ass kicking to anyone that didn't immediately drop to their knees or bend over. Kozi doesn't have a whole lot of deep lore around this point, as the attention went more towards finding the Primarchs and their own little quests. and less about how hard the Emperor and the Custodes were skull-fucking orcs to death. This combined with the fact that Kazi is not a super opinionated or talkative guy meant that even during the Council of Nicaea, which was a little gathering the Emperor put together to decide whether or not it was okay for humans to shoot lightning out of their cocks, he favoured neither side and he just kinda watched. As a fun little side note here, it's rumoured that during sparring matches, Valdor was able to beat numerous Primarchs and he even beat Horus. It really came down to a skill versus power thing. Valdor was more skilled than most of the Primarchs, and he was significantly older than all of them, but their raw strength and bullshit OP Primarch hacks were greater than Valdor's. When the Emperor decided it was time to finally paint his fuck-huge backlog of minis, he went back to Terra and he took Kazi and his Custodes with him. As we know, this didn't pan out so well, as Horus was turning into a dickhead and fell to chaos. Magnus, trying to be a good guy in the wrong way, psychically projected himself to the Emperor, knocking off a huge bottle of Nuln oil in the process and ruining the Emperor's minis. This caused the Emperor to rage and send Valdor as well as Lehman to go bring Magnus back home for a huge spanking. Now Valdor was a good call to send, Lehman was not, hence when they arrived at Prospero to grab Magnus, Lehman instead attacked the planet with the intention of killing Magnus. Valdor was like, what the fuck bro, relax. But then he saw the Thousand Sons had continued to use warp spaghetti in violation of the Emperor's edict, hence he happily joined the slaughter. On the battlefield, Valdor was a genuine beast, his highlight being him taking on 30 elite Thousand Sun warriors who were able to see the future, hence predict all of Valdor's attacks. Well, just because you can see something coming doesn't mean you can stop it.
True.
If Stephen Hawking predicted that in 30 seconds the Rock would body slam
God damn it, Major.
him, he's got 30 seconds to say goodbye. Valdor tore through all 30 of these warriors and he only suffered a single wound, which he just kinda copped and then continued killing. With Prospero destroyed, Kazi would come home and immediately be required to deploy the Custodes to the now fucked up human webway in order to hold back the tide of demons. To make matters even more worse, Horus revealed his betrayal and all but wiped out the Salamanders, Raven Guard and Iron Hands. The Custodes and Valdor weren't able to go out and deal with Horus as their full attention was now on trying to clear out the webway. With the Horus heresy in full swing, Valdor took up a position on the Imperial War Council and helped dictate and direct the Loyalist armies, whilst the Emperor was busy playing Paradox Billiard's Vostrian Roulette 4th Dimensional Hypercube Chess Strip Poker against Titsnitch. It was Valdor who put together the team of elite assassins and sent them to kill Horus. Dawn wasn't a fan of this because he's all about building and honor and shit, whilst Valdor is all about getting shit done. The assassination failed and no more was sent out. When the Siege of Terra occurred, Valdor once again made the traitor Astartes his bitch. He raw doggied them time and time again, reliving the lives of countless traitors and even demons. Time and time again his mind and soul were exposed to the pure corruption of chaos with every kill he made, yet he didn't even flinch or balk. Despite putting in a fat shift, he could not prevent Horus from turning the Emperor into a vegetable, even though Horus was killed as a result and the traitors had lost. Now pretty much everyone felt despair when the Emperor was kinda killed. The Custodes entered into a deep depression and refused to leave the palace. The Primarch's daddy issues got turned up to 11, with the Lion even stabbing Lehman in the chest with his sword. You would think that Valdor, the Emperor's greatest servant other than Malcador, would be completely shattered and heartbroken, but he was actually the one that encouraged the Primarchs to dust themselves off. He told Lehman that there was still light and glory ahead for mankind, and not to give up hope. Valdor and Lehman had a special bro code, which was symbolized by both of them being given matching spears by the Emperor. Whilst Valdor never put his down, Lehman refused to pick his up. It was pretty cute, you know. Soon after this, Valdor left into exile to pursue the unknown. Until recently! He's back, baby, and by God he hasn't been idle. Basically, in the latest Eisenhorn book, the identity of the King in Yellow was revealed to be Kazi. The King was a mysterious dude who seemed to be at odds with the protagonist, but it turns out it was just Kazi trying to single-handedly carry the Imperium. He's found
what is the King in Yellow? I am very lost.
Himself a pocket dimension in which he is making a fuck-off huge army of blank clones, good guy demons, and some kind of variant of Space Marine. It's all a bit vague, but general theme is that he's preparing for something big. The characters theorize that he's trying to discover the true name of the Emperor, which obviously has set off some alarm bells. There's a theory that the Emperor's true name, in combination with the Tree of Life, could be enough to get the Emperor's bony ass off the Golden Throne. Considering Valdor and Russ are two sides.
Wait, but that is gonna break my whole theory that the Emperor is gonna become a chaos god and start clapping chicks from the chaos dimension outwards. But then again, live emperor or dead emperor chaos god. Huh. God damn it, I don't know what I want. As long as Sanguinius comes back, I don't give a fuck, okay? Bring my Hawk boy back.
To the same
Hawk's
coin,
lives
have
matter.
matching spears, and are both seemingly trying to resurrect the Emperor, this actually makes a lot of sense. Until Kazi explains a bit more though, it definitely comes off as a bit heretical. In saying that though, Kazi has always been a super practical guy.
True. Technically, most of the shit the Emperor did is very heretical. You know, the only reason it's let go is because he's the Emperor, right? And the religion is circled around him. So it's not heretical because he is the, you know, main guy, which makes it very weird that stuff that he did and, you know, is seen as heretical, but
An army of blanks,
whatever.
mutated space
What is a
marines,
blank?
and friendly demons is the best way to go about something. You bet your ass Valdor is going to use them. Or maybe I'm just completely wrong and the Banana King is sick of everyone's shit and wants to genocide the galaxy. Either way, I'm on his side.
Same.
And that does us for today,
Seems cool.
guys. The lore and story of Constantin Valdor. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Where only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more golden content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Well, what do you guys think? I asked a lot of questions, so I want you guys to answer with your opinions. I'm curious to see what you guys are gonna say. We're gonna be streaming some Doki Doki Literature Club later on today. People have been wanting me to play that shit for a while. We're gonna be playing some chess after that. Tomorrow is gonna be Kingdom Come Deliverance. A quick thank you to the YouTube members and Patreons. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. Hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all have a nice day, and yeah, bye bye everybody. See ya.